Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about actually interviewing Willie Jones. So Willie Jones is a famous TikToker, world famous, world renowned. You have 130,000.
130.4.
You gotta add the 0.4, right?
You gotta add the numbers.
Aaron Rodgers, Conor McGregor versus Cody Curtis.
Just real quick though, Willie, for a lot of people watching this video, what are your like I don't know, like 3 tips, 5 tips, 1 tip, I don't really care, not too serious. Just how would you say to become TikTok famous?
Being authentic. Literally the way I amassed my following was I made a video literally about McDonald's cakes. Like I saw a video and they were like, "Do you know McDonald's sells McDonald's cakes?" I was like, the hell is this? So I was like, at that point in time, I was 25. I just had a birthday this past month. So I'm like, my 25 years, I ain't never known McDonald's to ever sell no cake. And I just happened to I went to the McDonald's over here on Apple in Muskegon, and I was like, I asked them, you know what I'm saying? And they said no. So I was like, well, why you lie? And then next thing you know, it blew up 5 million in a week. And now it's at 16.8 million. So I think it was just like being completely authentic, being completely yourself. Another thing is just consistency. Posting like 3 or 4 times a day. I think that's how it is for the algorithm on TikTok. So,
because you were born in Michigan, just like me, right? So that means that unfortunately by default, you kind of have to be a Lions fan. What were your thoughts on Mathew Stafford leaving? Because I know there's like a few different things, but what were your thoughts?
I actually wasn't mad. At that whole situation. Honestly, I thought it was like, yeah, Matt, go get it, bro. And the fact that I've always thought that Mathew Stafford was a pretty quality quarterback. I mean, there were some years where I was like, ooh, I don't know, bro. It might be time to let it go. Now, am I mad about who we got for it? Kinda. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if Jared Goff is the wave, but we gonna find out this year.
He said the Lions are looking to compete for a Super Bowl, so that must mean something. He might, maybe knows something. We don't know. I don't know. It shows what happens when both parties agree like it's time to separate.
You gave a lot of good years here. You had some decent runs, and just didn't pan out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think the Rams then are the favorite to win, because a lot of people say the Rams are the favorite now to win the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams are the favorite this year. Granted, you're still going to have to deal with that person that's sitting at, 43 years of age?
He just turned 45.
40? Oh,
he turned 45 yesterday. How good do you think the Pistons could actually be this year after drafting Cade Cunningham and with the pieces that they already have?
If Cade Cunningham is who we think he is, I could see the Pistons actually vying for a playoff spot. Josh Jackson, there it is. Josh Jackson, young dude. Jeremy Grant, young dude. Like all this, there's so much youth in this, so like there's a lot of inexperience, but I could see us like battling for a playoff spot this year.
We have Dwayne Casey as well, and Troy Weaver clearly knows what he's doing. Like,
oh yeah,
I think you hit the nose on the head though. Like, if Cade Cunningham sucks, then it's not gonna be very good.
And picking up Isaiah Livers, I thought was good. Like that, really decent player out of Michigan.
We have a solid team. We have Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart as well. Like, we have a very solid squad.
Even Saban Lee and Killian Hayes, they're decent players.
Did you watch the NBA Finals at all?
I didn't watch it all the way, but I did watch what I could watch. I thought, honestly, I had CP3 and them winning it. Giannis said no. J-Rube said no. Like, all those guys, like, they came together and, like, I said, okay, here's what I said. I said, in order for the Suns to really take this and take it and run with it, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are going to have to go for at least 30 apiece. And the moment we saw Devin Booker go for 40, 45 or 40, whatever, and then Chris Paul only went for like 26, I'm like, that's not good enough, Chris. That's not good enough. I'm happy that Giannis got it. I am.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, like, Giannis can't deny, like, he had like 40 and 41, and then he had 50 in the closeout game. Is he the best player in the league now?
I still want to argue LeBron. Like, I still want to argue that, because I'm like, this man is in years, 17, 18, and he's performing. And I know they lost this year, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Lakers, they're trying." Like, and they all want to come at LeBron's neck. I'm like, this man is in his like 18th year, and he's still putting up almost 30 points a night in a playoff series where he just can't. Like, he literally just played in the playoff series, and then a month and a half later, they start up a season again. Rush trade. This rush to LA. I'm sorry, this rush trade with LA, like getting Carmelo Anthony and them, because they're all old.
Yeah.
They're like the median age is like 34.
LeBron's like, I'm not playing with anybody else. I don't know who these young people names are. They're like, my son does. They played against my son. I'm not playing with these guys.
It's the LAARP Lakers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's so much experience. There's still some youth there, and they all pretty much are still playing at a pretty high level. I mean, Carmelo is Carmelo. Carmelo is Anthony is Carmelo Anthony. That for sure. People are talking about Carmelo Anthony like he just washed up and like, I bet you won't play. I bet you won't leave him in that corner if you want to. You'll turn old school in real quick. So I think, quite honestly, this Lakers team, I think they're gonna be the team to beat.
Your TikTok is focused on really like a lot of times like controversial topics, and there are situations where sports and those controversial topics like blend together. What are your thoughts on DeShaun Watson?
There's something fishy there. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's something fishy there, because it was all good when he wanted to stay and keep taking L's. It was all good. Like, it was all good. Like, as long as you wanted to be in a Texas jersey, yeah, we good. But the moment you want to leave, and now this pops up, and, you know, now I feel like there's some blackballing happening, because, like, no team is going to want to really touch you after having that kind of accusation come up against you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're pretty much forcing him to stay. You have like, you want to leave? You ain't going nowhere. Lawyer being like the lawyer of the plaintiffs and all that, like it being like a friend of the Texans owner.
Race is an issue, at least in my opinion, because it wasn't until I started to see, like, when I started to watch videos of the African American perspective on DeShaun Watson, where I heard that perspective from, because I don't think that way, because I'm white. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts towards that whole thing?
It makes sense. I mean, you look at, there's a player that went through a similar situation. You know what I'm saying? He's a high-profile player because he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. Brandon Roethlisberger. Like, yeah, he had a rape allegation come up against him too. Was it kept quiet? Absolutely. Like, I'm pretty sure people, like, I didn't even know that happened until like a year or two ago. And this happened. This happened years ago.
For me, it kind of relates to the Michael Vick scenario. Like, I think like that wasn't a question we were asking back then. I don't think nearly enough. But if like Michael Vick was, who was good back then? Michael Vick was Tony Romo. You know what I mean? Like, it have been almost 2 years in prison, and going bankrupt while in prison, and would it have been that type of effect? Those weren't questions we were asking back then, but they probably are questions that we should have been asking. There is something that doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. It seems, not to say that there's a time limit on when a victim can come forward. If you're going to come forward, then come forward. Please do it on your time. You know what I mean? Like, please do it on your time, and please do it when you feel comfortable. But with this situation, it's just like,
Another thing too, and this is actually, I believe this was the video that had you message me about being on the show. Because I did a video like a week or so ago about Simone Biles deciding to step away, deciding that she doesn't want it. And I know you have a lot of different opinions toward it. So what were your thoughts on Simone Biles and the way she's handled the Olympics so far?
Take care of your health. Take care of your mental health, man. I mean, because apparently I just saw today like that her grandmother passed. We saw it with Sha'Carri Richardson. We saw it with, Sha'Carri did what she did, but like nobody understood the reason why. You know what I mean? We saw it with Naomi Osaka. Like, people would get you. My thought is that you acknowledge the fact that these people are great. You acknowledge the fact, and I'm going to say it, you acknowledge the fact that black people are great, yet when we decide to take care of our mental health and think of ourselves over winning that title for whoever or whatever, it becomes an issue. You're cool with our greatness so long as you're being entertained or you're profiting off of it. But once we decide to step back and be like, hey, this is getting a little bit too much for me, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, step back for a minute. And the fact that she came back and did the balance beam, like, people are saying that this woman is a failure. And let me tell y'all, to whoever finna watch this, and when I talk about Simone Biles, that woman is the most decorated gymnast in American history.
Would you feel that way if she was white? And if you have like a hesitation, or if you like have to step back and think about it, right? Or if you like lie and go, obviously I think that, obviously race doesn't matter to me, when like in actuality, does it? You know what I mean? Like in actuality, would it be different if she was white? And it's like, oh, sweetie, yeah, you can go ahead and fix yourself. But if this went like south, or at least when it first came out, I think a lot of people were like, oh, screw you, defend your country. And it's like,
I get into arguments with people on Facebook. Wow. But I was debating with people on Facebook where somebody was like, because I think the article I said that she was heroic, you know, so talking about Simone Biles, and somebody was like, no, she's not heroic, she's a great gymnast. I'm like, yes, she is. I think people try to pigeonhole the word heroic into terms of police or military, or, you know what I'm saying, those public offices, you know what I'm saying, they try to pigeonhole the word heroic into that. But really, you can use the word heroic to describe the actions of somebody who's done what is seemed to be the unthinkable. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with LeBron, remember the shut up and dribble comment?
mm-hmm.
Bingo. Like, you're cool with it. You're cool with it so long as he's banging on people's head. You cool with that. Like, you're great. You shot that 3 in his face, LeBron. Good job. You talked about politics, LeBron. Screw you. 3 years dedicated to to my craft.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't spend 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But 3 years, just faithful dedication, getting up, grinding, whether it be early or going in late. You're grinding 3 years straight. Then finally, I'm finna do, and now we're here now, and we're gonna lay everything out on the table, and we get this much time to do it. And if we don't do it, and we don't execute it the way we need to execute, we can hurt ourselves. We can hurt the team by not, you know what I'm saying, bringing in the amount of points that we want. You know what I'm saying? And then for Simone Biles, the fact that, if I'm right, now I'm hearing that she wasn't getting all the points because the moves that she was pulling was too difficult. You know, the fact that that's happening, you don't see. When do we start punishing greatness? Like, when do we start doing that? When do we start doing that? Like, you don't see Tom Brady throw a touchdown, and his team only get rewarded 5 points. You don't see that. You see them get their full 6, and then 7 if they do the field goal. You know what I mean? You see that. But with her, it's different. You're punishing me for being great. You're literally punishing me for doing something that the other better competitors can't match. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's their problem. They need to get their ass in the gym.
Yeah, those are all the questions I have for you. Did you have anything you wanted to plug, or any other things you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. My TikTok is at Willie J the Artist. My Instagram is also at Willie J the Artist. So yeah, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. I love you guys. Connor, brother, it's been a pleasure.
Heck yeah, bro. I almost swear there. That's okay. All right, Willie. Well, thank you so much for swinging by. If you guys did like this video, make sure you click that like button, show your support for the channel, subscribe for even more content. But like I always say, most importantly of all, have a good day.